and welcome. It's Season 5, Race 9 of 36. 48 laps in the first stage, 108 in the second, and 240 laps we're doing here at the Martinsville Speedway, Ridgeway, Virginia. Half a mile speedway that is like no other. It's a paperclip, and it hasn't changed since pretty much the day it was opened. Tonight, it's the NORA Cup Series, presented by Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. Great to have them on board for a good stretch of the season as the presenting sponsor of the NORA Cup Series. More about them in a minute, but first, let's go ahead and find out what's going on with the NORA Cup Series and bring you up to date. So here is the points battle as it rages after 8 races. It's Vincent Arthur who is in front, ahead of Ronnie Norman and Brady Moats, still by quite a sizable margin there, but anything can happen as the top 4 still remain the same, but the margin has changed a little bit. Vincent Arthur taking a stunning second place last week. Our winner last week not going to be joining us this week. However, everyone else in the field, and Brian Powell losing a position, John Cottle losing a position, Robert Christenberry gaining 2 spots. So it's going to be a great one tonight. I hope you're looking forward to it. Here's also our owner points. And once again, it's great to have you here on VirtualRacing.Network. I'm Trevor Greenfield. I'll be flying solo tonight. But it's so great to have this new sponsor on board here tonight because, well, let's go ahead and talk about it. It's Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. And it is artistically designed cookies made from scratch. They look so good on the outside, it'll make you feel so good on the inside. Be sure to comment cookies in the chat tonight to enter yourself to win a free dozen cookies. Now, how special is that? Great to see that sponsor activation already. And what a great way to bring them on board. Just type cookies into the chat tonight. You'll be entered in for a potential winning of a dozen cookies. I wonder if that's a baker's dozen or a regular dozen. Either way, out of Plymouth, Minnesota, give them a call at 812-264-1624 or write them an email, abcobb@gmail.com. You can find them on Facebook at Abby's Sweet Treats. So great to have them with us. Great to have you with us out there. Make sure you let us know over in YouTube chat where you're watching from and who you're rooting on. We're just about to see some great qualifying. Let's go ahead and send it down trackside and pick up the action. So Zach Hollinger there on your screen, just putting in his very first lap. I think he's actually, no, I take it back, he got in 2 laps. There's John Cottle getting to the top of the charts. Brandon Dumford now getting in his time, about to put in his qualifying effort, going very slowly down pit lane. If we can get to somebody who's on a hot lap. That looks like Adam Kulkowski right there, about to throw down a fast one. Currently 3rd fastest for Kulkowski. And now he moves up into that 2nd spot. The top time taken by Vincent Arthur, who has already set that time, with Kulakowski slotting into 2nd. Anthony Mackie now on his slow down lap. Let's check in with Jake Christenberry as he tries to lay down a fast 2nd lap here. Not sure if he's going to be able to get in as fast as he would like here on this 2nd lap, but check and see what his times are looking like. Christenberry with that 2nd lap, just able to put in an 11th fastest lap. Just like that, Timmy Harper jumps up to 4th fastest with that 1st lap. Will he get a chance to put it even faster here on this 2nd lap? Moves across that start-finish line, and Harper not able to go faster on that 2nd lap. Here's Josh Conover winner just a week ago. And now 25-year-old here took the win last night. Also in the trucks, for those of you who saw it, it was adventuresome. There was not a square inch of paint left on any of those trucks after last night. Matthew George now taking 5th fastest. If you can actually get one of these cars out there qualifying. Here's Chad Engel, Brian Powell Motorsports. He's just put in 15th fastest time. And Ronnie Norman, with that second lap, now slots into 7th place for Flatline Motorsports. So Flatline first and second with Vincent Arthur and Josh Conover, and now into 7th for Ronnie Norman. Great qualifying effort for those two. Jacob Vladelich just finishing his qualifying lap for JRC Sim Team. As always, great to have you with us here tonight. Cody Height letting us know I think he's saying that he messed up his second lap there. Either way, you know, you get in one lap, that's all it takes. You know, you're out there, you're racing, you're not starting at the very back, you're starting all the way up at 19. So, you know, that's pretty further forward. And you got even Nick Eilis back there, who possibly had an issue. Not sure I see anything reported in our notes, but only getting in one lap and very slow on that lap. Vladelich also very slow, not able to get in a great time. And so as a result, it's got to probably be Vincent Arthur, I think, because everyone else is done qualifying. Indeed, they are. So let's go ahead with that. Let's get the starting grid for tonight's race up here on the board for you. And there it is, starting first for tonight's round number 9, Martinsville, Abbey's Sweet Treats. This is going to be Vincent Arthur. No surprise there. The young man absolutely has laid the gauntlet down for the rest of the competition in the field. He is something else to watch for sure. Watch for him tonight for Flatline Motorsports. Starting next to him will be Josh Conover, kind of turning into his nemesis, but also his teammate here in the NORA Cup Series for Flatline Motorsports. Second row will be Adam Kolakowski. He's one of the independents in the field, starting next to John Cottle for Harper Motorsports. Third row will be Matthew George for Flatline Motorsports, and starting alongside him will be Timmy Harper. Now, Timmy had a very adventuresome night last night. He was under probation and unfortunately violated that probation by hitting another vehicle, and he was parked early. So will he be conservative? He was running at the front. Will we see him out there again tonight? That is anyone's question, if he can get up there and take over that lead from the other Flatline Motorsports machines. Ronnie Norman and Brady Mote's going to be starting just behind. Then it's Anthony Mackey and Zach Hollinger. Brandon Dunford and Zachary Taylor. And Brian Powell and Peyton Tullock. Then Cameron Thompson, Chad Engel, Jake Christenberry, Matthew Hibbs, Cody Height, and Josh Curry, Jacob Vladelich, and finally Nick Eilis for Nightmare Motorsports will bring up the last position. We've got 22 starters out there tonight. Should be a barn burner of a race, especially if we can keep it green the whole time. That's always the trick, to keep it green. With a lot of cautions. We already see some commotion in the mid-pack. Looks like a couple of cars possibly having it coming together. Manual caution has been thrown, so the omens are in the air. The full moon is out. We're already having issues before the start of this one. we look back here, it looks like possibly, it's hard to tell, possibly Cody Height having an issue. But it does look like we've gotten it straightened out. At the front, it is going to be Vincent Arthur who will lead us down to the green flag. So will we see the green this time by? I believe we will. The lights are off on the pace truck, and I was noting the irony last night, there is a pace car in the truck series. Of course, there's a truck in the car series. So either way, NORA covering all their bases. Green flag is in the air. Barney the flagman about to wave that flag. Vincent Arthur steps on the loud pedal, and we are green here at Martinsville. Actually still looking pretty good all the way through the field. Nobody having it coming together yet. Vincent Arthur, oh, and just as I say that, it looks like we've got somebody who has tagged the wall. I believe that might be Kristen Berry. We'll have to find out who that is, but I believe that was Jake Christenberry who got up into the wall. Either way, out in front, no problems for Vincent Arthur, Josh Conover. They streak along in first and second. John Cottle in third. And fourth place, Adam Kulikowski and Timmy Harper swapping positions. Who's going to hold on to that spot this lap? It looks like Harper to the inside. Kulikowski still trying the outside. He now falls back. And Zachary Taylor now challenges Kulikowski there for that fifth place. And there, Taylor runs very high through that corner, allowing quite a few of the drivers through. Agent Inc. Racing drivers still kind of settling in, trying to figure this one out. And we've missed it there, but Josh Conover has actually taken the lead off of Vincent Arthur's hands. So let's take a step back here and let you know what you missed. This was just a second ago. Looks like Arthur getting very squirrely coming off the final corner, and there Conover in the right place to take advantage. Jump back to that live picture. It's still these two, 1-2. And now I think I see that Peyton Tulloch has had an incident. Let's see if we can catch up with what happened there. This was Peyton Tulloch just a second ago in the number 1 for JRC Sim Team, and he just loses it, gets sideways and into that inside wall. He'll take the tow back to the pit. Back up front, no problems now for the flatline teammates. Back to the Harper Motorsports driver, John Cottle, the first Ford in the field, just behind his teammate at Harper, Timmy Harper. Again, trying to race and just get in a solid finish here tonight after having such a difficult night last night. It's always great to see Tim's Facebook posts. He's always so positive and uplifted about what his chances are for the night. Certainly we wish him the best of luck each night that he can get out there. I also love the fact that he tags us. So, you know, if you're on Facebook, make sure to head on over and see us, Virtual Racing, the Virtual Racing Network. And that is the number 12 of Tim Harper. They're getting loose. So commentators curse, I guess, but just on cue, Tim Harper getting a little loose there. Perhaps he's thinking about those cookies from Abby's Sweet Treats. Maybe he's got those chocolate chip cookies on his mind, but either way, you can head on over there. And by the way, in case you're wondering, it's not just exclusively local for Abby's Sweet Treats. You can get those shipped. But again, we'll take more of a look at that later on. Timmy recovering to 8th place. Brian Powell for Powell Motorsports just behind in 9th place. And his teammate there for Chad Engel in 10th place right now at the moment. And now these two front runners are already going to start working through lap traffic. Here we are just working on lap 12, but very quickly starting to dial in some lap traffic. Matthew Hibbs having a moment. This was just a moment ago. Looks like the same thing, just kind of gets loose coming off the corner. Rides that car around to the inside. Tough going there for Hibbs. jump on board with Conover. And already I'm loving the fact that we've had this much green flag racing. So satisfactory after last night's truck race. A lot of cautions last night, but so far so good here after that initial little scuffle before the green flag came out. The Conover coming around, I believe that is Josh Curry just up in front. That is Curry, in fact. Manages to dispatch him quite quickly, and there Vincent Arthur very easily getting through as well. Take a look at the weather for tonight. It might matter a little bit. 11 miles per hour, 13 gusts, 14. So a little bit of wind is a factor, but with the speeds where they're at, it shouldn't matter too much out there tonight. 85 degrees on the track. A little bit of excessive tire wear out there, so keep an eye on that as it goes through these longer stints. I think a lot of these drivers are going to be kind of looking at what happened last night with the breaking up of the race and potentially not really expecting a very long green flag stint tonight and getting a chance to take advantage of multiple fresh sets of tires due to cautions, but we'll see whether or not that happens. Looking back here from this front too, it's John Cottle, and there you can see, I believe that's the 31 up there in the wall. I'm seeing some other movement around. There's Zachary Taylor in the 81, who's come down to the bottom line there on the track. It looks like that 81 Silverado has sustained some serious damage. Back it up and see if you can tell what happened there. This was just a moment ago. Wow, that car really got loose. And unfortunately, that is Tim Harper, who has nowhere to go. Harper, the unfortunate recipient of some damage there. We'll see if we can tell exactly. This was on board with Harper here. Sorry, didn't quite catch the right camera. We'll see if we can get back to that and get on board with Harper. There we go. This is on board with Harper. He tries to take evasive action to the inside. Again, having a difficult night. But fortunately, this is one of those tracks where it won't matter too much if you have a little bit of damage unless it affects that steering. Clearly affecting their steering a bit enough that we need to head into the pits. But Tim Harper continuing in 8th place. There you can see. And it looks like it was Anthony Mackie now having a problem here in the 54, dropping back. So the Prestige TRD driver, a bit of an issue. So a number of these drivers really struggling at this point to adapt to the track and the conditions. Just like that, we're already 10% of the way through this race. With Josh Conover in the lead, but look out, here comes Vincent Arthur. You can say cookies a couple of times because, oh my goodness, here comes the heat. So is Vincent Arthur in a position to challenge his teammate? Will he challenge his teammate for this position? So early on, it's very risky, but then again, we did see Conover willing to make the pass around Vincent Arthur. We watch on to see whether or not that'll be the case. On board with Arthur. Watch the hand movement in the car. Very smooth coming through the corner. A little bit of a correction on the exit. Now, he's taking that inside line. We were watching this all last night when I was joined by Christian Snyder. Some of the drivers preferring that Chase Elliott middle groove approach, as he pointed out. Others trying that either the diamond line, ride up in the middle of the corner and then come back down, or if you've got somebody to your outside especially, just hanging on that low groove and seeing if that works. Maybe a little bit of a late apex, making it a little bit easier to exit the corner. But Arthur hanging on here so far in second very, very easily. And Arthur almost tagging the back end of Conover there into the corner. I wonder if Conover starting to slow up a little bit. As I look up and can see, it does look like Conover was a bit slower that time, about a tenth of a second slower than Vincent Arthur. So you can tell their history here, and you can see right there Conover starting to slow down a bit compared to Arthur, who's significantly faster. That's the 51 who's really struggling out there. That's Josh Curry and the M&M's 51 there that continues to really struggle around the track here tonight. But so far, so good. 32 laps in, and it's all green here. Green cookies tonight. That's what we're racing for, and these drivers are absolutely loving all this green flag racing. Let me tell you, it is music to everyone's ears just to be able to get down some laps and start to enact this strategy. So we will be seeing cars in somewhere around lap 50. We look for that, possibly a little bit earlier. And of course, as mentioned, on lap 48, we will be having that caution come out for the end of the first stage. So who will take victory in that first stage? Well, we're about to find out here momentarily, but Josh Conover looking pretty good so far. Vincent Arthur hanging on in second place. We jump back a little ways, and it's John Cottle. He's gained a spot here tonight, and got to work his way now around lap car there of the number 54, Anthony Mackey. HTRD now starting to fall back through this field, and as I mentioned, just go a lap down. Ronnie Norman back here in fourth place. He's gained 3 spots from where he started, so having a stellar night so far. Or could you ask, if you start 7th, you're already halfway done, you're up to 4th. I wonder if the Steven Dombrowski Ronnie Norman fan club will show up tonight in our YouTube chat. I do see Jake Young checking in. Come on, Ronnie and Timmy. So there you go, checking in and supporting Ronnie Norman and Timmy Harper. 2 different teammates, but obviously a good friend. And it was quite cool last night to see Josh Conover win when Christian Snyder was in the booth. That you go way, way back. For those of you who are aware, good friends, sim racing for a long time, and Christian getting a chance to interview Josh in NORA Victory Lane last night, taking that truck victory here at Martinsville. That was, like I said, some very special circumstances. And by the way, for those of you who are fans of Christian Snyder, he'll be back in the race truck and possibly also in the Cup Series starting in May. So look for that. As you can see, the 51 of Curry really struggling out there. This is like we should have a full-time camera on Curry's car. Really, really finding it difficult to keep that NASCAR Next Gen car planted on the track. I do wonder if he has some damage at the moment. Continues around now in 18th place, and clearly this is not the track for Josh or that car. It's not really the night that he would like to have. Up in 5th place though, Adam Kulikowski. He's dropped 2 spots from where he started, but he's still having a really good run. Can't really argue with the top 5, and now getting a little bit closer to that Ronnie Norman car as Ronnie starts to struggle with getting around that 54. And we have a yellow flag. Zach Hollinger sideways, the number 21. I want to call it the Wood Brothers car, but it's Hollinger Racing's number 21, bringing out our very first caution on lap 43. And that means we will get basically a green-white checkered shootout for for our first stage, which will end on lap 48. So with that, heads up driving here from Josh Conover. He heads down pit lane. He's followed by Vincent Arthur, John Cottle, Ronnie Norman. Practically all of the rest of the drivers headed down pit lane at the moment. See a lot of these drivers headed in right now. They'll take service on this curved pit lane, as it is a little tricky to make that pit exit. We can see who can get off pit road first. Jake Christenberry taking the opportunity to stay out there, and it does look like Conover manages to just get Arthur off of pit road. Cameron Thompson also sticking around out there and finally heading into the pits. Christenberry also taking hits. So with that, a minute to go ahead and bring up our race sponsor and presenting sponsor of the NORA Cup Series, and now officially the NORA Truck Series. You're going to be hearing this a lot, but it is Abby's Sweet Treats, home bakery, artistically designed cookies made from scratch. They look so good on the outside, it'll make you feel good on the inside. Be sure to comment cookies in the chat tonight to enter yourself to win a free dozen cookies. Who doesn't want that? 3 dozen, and those cookies look so good. Just checking out their Facebook page there for Abby's Sweet Treats on Facebook, and you can see some of those examples. And like I said, you just get them shipped right out from Plymouth, Minnesota. You can reach Abby's Sweet Treats at 812-264-1624 or abcobb@gmail.com. That's Abby's Sweet Treat. Want to reach on over there as soon as you can. But of course, comment cookies in the chat tonight, and you might get a dozen of them. And I haven't seen too many people commenting yet, so telling you what, it's pretty much looking like 100% chance to me if nobody's commented. There, finally, Jake Young, first to pop in there, and says, that's my friend's wife. Y'all need to try them out. They're fantastic. So appreciate that recommendation from Jake Young. And you know what we always say, I mean, if Jake says they're good, well, then they've got to be good. So there's all you need to know. Jake Young gives his stamp of approval. Just like that, we're about to come back to green here. Pace truck pulls off and about to jump on to lap number 47. So who will lead at the end of this lap? That will be the end of the stage. And I believe it's going to be Josh Conover. I think the way that it works out, that was the end of the stage. And Conover, Arthur, Cottle, Norman, and Powell, that'll be the top end of that stage. So they will take the max amount of points for that first stage. Conover very happy to get that run off of pit road and beat Arthur and be able to take that win. Looking a little bit further back, still pretty much everybody behaving themselves. Timmy Harper back here in 14th position, still trying to work his way forward. Next up, you'll be seeing that number 2 car there of Cameron Thompson, also out of that Harper Motorsports stable. Look up forward a little bit. Here's one of the other very vocal drivers that we tend to see over in our YouTube chat. It's Brady Motes for Brian Powell Motorsports in 7th place. Now he's gained a spot from where he started, getting dangerously close to that top 5 that we all dream of getting, those consistent top 5 finishes. So Brady well on his way to working towards a solid night. Matthew George just in front in 8th place. I'm sorry, in 6th place in that number 8 car for Flatline, and he's looking to get up there in the front as well and join teammates Josh Conover and Vincent Arthur up there in the top 2, possibly taking podium tonight. But how about this guy, John Cottle for Harper Motorsports? He's really come on strong as of late, having some top finishes and showing very, very well in both the trucks and in the Cup Series. This is definitely one of those drivers that you can't count out of a podium position tonight, unless it's this driver who might take it from him. This is Ronnie Norman. Norman has had some exciting races, finishing at the top. He's always in the points championship and looking like a contender. And for those of you who are eagle-eyed, you spotted that he was on the thumbnail for tonight's race over on YouTube. The chance to take some stylized cinematography, and Ronnie Norman a little bit of extra exposure out there. But we'll be getting a lot more photos over the time, over the next few weeks. We've now got a yellow flag, and I think it is for Matthew George. It appears to be back underway, but he slid back to 9th. So let's see if we can tell what happened here. Was it Matthew George that had a problem? Yes, indeed. He slides sideways and just barely tags the wall. I don't know that that's exactly what caused the yellow, though, but either way, yellow does come out here. Jump back to that live picture. So, also, want to give a shout out here to a couple of other drivers, that a couple of other folks who stopped into the chat room. Keegan Bitzer, hey, let's go Flatline Motorsports. Well, definitely the line is starting to grow for that Flatline fan club. Their hauler, merchandise hauler down there has a long line to purchase merchandise, so might get headed on down to that merchandise trailer real early if you're looking to get a jacket tonight. But still beating the fenders out of the old Ally Chevy Silverado from last night. Yeah, unfortunately, Keegan, it was a rough night, not just for you, but many drivers. Even Josh Conover's had absolutely no inches spared on that truck from last night. Morgan Pavio, love you, Trevor. Absolutely, dear. Thank you so much for watching out there tonight. It is always great to have the support of our loved ones, and appreciate you here watching along, cheering along, I'm sure, listening on your new earbuds. Either way, folks, great to have you all with us here tonight. Make sure you join in. Jake Young says, go Norman Slingshot engaged. Well, I think we're going to see that too. I think Norman is, we don't have any full send motorsports in this field from Christian Snyder, but it's a great name, and certainly Ronnie Norman will bide his time and possibly have a full send. That is for certain. So looking on here, absolutely make sure to chat cookies into the chat, and you'll take a chance in getting a free dozen cookies from the presenting sponsor of the NORA Cup Series, Abby's Sweet Treats. We'll have much more about them coming up shortly. So Josh Conover currently in the lead here. We're going to step aside for just a second. We will be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. Pulls off here. Cars exit turn 4. We're back underway here at Martinsville. Josh Conover leading the gang into turn number 1. It looks like Ronnie Norman and John Cottle kind of swapping positions there now side by side as they head into turn 3 and 4. It's Norman who starts to I mean, is he putting that slingshot to use? Maybe so. I think he got a little fired up here, hearing some of these comments coming from the YouTube chat land. And we've got another car around. I think it's Brian Powell. Indeed, it is number 37, Brian Powell out of Brian Powell Motorsports, having an issue there, but it stays green, which is good news. Able to get going again, Brian Powell is, but Powell, that was for 5th place. Let's take a look back here. This was just a moment ago. Brady Moats getting by Powell, and that's why Powell kind of got loose, kind of a single car thing, and it's enough to send him sideways. Back up at the front though, Josh Conover from Flatline Motorsports holding it down. Vincent Arthur in second. What a big wiggle from John Cottle, and he loses control. That will bring out the yellow. Jay Christenberry just gets tagged as part of that, but I think he got it wound up enough that it's not going to matter too much. Oh my goodness, Cottle is having such a fantastic race there at the front. This was what happened to John Cottle just a moment ago, coming off the corner, and you can just hear it, a little bit of wheel spin, and around she goes. He wants to back up just a little bit. He tries, just manages to clip Christenberry. Back to the live picture, and our yellow once again, so we're going to step aside one more time. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere unless it's to go order some Abby's Sweet Treats. green flag is back in the air here at Martinsville. We are underway once again as Josh Conover steps on it and takes that car all the way forward to about a 3-car length lead right off the bat. And Ronnie Norman does manage to pull up into that 3rd spot. Of course, John Cottle having that issue early on. Now we've got another car, looks like, up in the wall. It could be Matthew George. In fact, it is there in that number 8 having an issue. And now the 54 having an issue. I think that's Anthony Mackie who manages to get it back together there with the Prestige PRD car. So really some of these cars very much struggling with getting back on the gas. Conover, though, no trouble. Same with his teammate Vincent Arthur for Flatline Motorsports. And now Ronnie Norman being in that group, making it an easy top 3 at the moment. The number 2 there of Cameron Thompson goes around, and that does bring out our 4th caution on the night. So with that, we're going to get a chance here to do something that we haven't yet done here in our time on our coverage of the NORA Cup Series. We're going to get a chance to bring in Josh Conover. Josh, sorry to bring you in here and cut away from your group, but can you talk to us for a second?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Josh, so how's your night going, man? You're running up there in the lead. Everything going okay? You keeping it clear?
Had a little brake trouble. My pedal kind of went soft getting into one a couple laps ago, and kind of hoping it stiffens back up again. But otherwise, no. If you would have told me I'd be leading Vincent in a cup race, I would have said you're flat out lying.
Well, still quite a ways to go. We wish you the best of luck out there. Stay clean and clear, and hopefully brought an extra one of those Abby's Sweet Treats cookies with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna need something. He's definitely. I mean, obviously we know he's quick, but like I said, it's something is clicking tonight, I guess. So we'll just keep chugging along, and hopefully, I mean, we got flatline 1, 2, 3, so hopefully keep that intact as we stroll on through these laps.
There you go. Well, keep it clean, my friend. We'll see you hopefully at victory lane at the end. Good luck.
I hope so too. Thank you.
So that's Josh Conover. Great to have him join us here on VirtualRacing.Network's ability to check in with some of these drivers on the yellow flags. We appreciate Josh being willing to let us break up his concentration long enough to talk with him. So he does, in fact, lead Flatline Motorsports 1, 2, and 3. And perhaps at our next caution, we'll get a chance to chat with Vincent and see what he has to say about tonight's race. Either way, we should be going green here on our next lap, so we'll step aside for just a moment. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. Back underway here at Martinsville, and look, it's Vincent Arthur who's brought back there on the start. Looks like Brady Motes has gotten a good restart, but Arthur able to get away cleanly after that next corner. Norman, I think, kind of smelling some blood there, wanted to take advantage of that opportunity, but in the meantime gets a little crossed up now, gets sent back to the 5th position. Jake Christenberry able to get recovered and up there 12 spots up towards the front as well. Cody Height up 15 spots so far. So looking awesome for these drivers who started so much further towards the back. Right now, having a fantastic race. There's Cody Height of Harper Motorsports. He had a great race running last night as well in the truck, showing his speed and his short track ability. Looking a little bit further back, this is Brandon Dunford running Kulikowski running Timmy Harper all the way up the track there, and as a result, both of them falling back a couple of positions. Now Matthew George getting to the low side on Dunford as well. Harper just barely recovering. So Harper really having a difficult run tonight. Fortunately, sad recipient there. I see the number 6 going around was Zach Cottle having another moment. So what was looking so promising early on with Cottle running up there in the 3rd spot has now turned to a nightmare. And no, I'm not talking about Nightmare Motorsports. I'm talking about Harper Motorsports. John Cottle falling back to that 18th position. So we will, of course, be having our next stage end on lap 108. So that'll be coming up here in just about, we've got 20 laps until that happens. Keep your eyes out for that. Who will be up there in the front in order to be able to take the 2nd stage? Well, last time it was Josh Conover who took the points from that 1st stage. Vincent Arthur was in 2nd, but could it be Brady Modes who makes his way up into the front here? He's got a strong car right now for that Brian Powell Motorsports. On board with Brady, and we've got Cottle again, I believe, having an issue. And it looks like Cottle is officially parking that vehicle. Perhaps his night is done. This was Cottle just a moment ago, almost getting into the back of Tim Harper there. Really coming down on exit. There's just something really loose about that Harper Motorsports machine. I'm just not exactly sure what it is. And Cameron Thompson, I believe, bringing out our next caution. And in fact, he'll take the chance to jump over to the pits. So let's see if we can manage to get a chance to chat with Vincent Arthur. Takes a little bit of doing to get him into our discussion booth here. But I think we've got a chance to get him here on VirtualRacing.Network. Hey, Vincent, do you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Vincent, how's it going, my friend? Is it pretty much hurry up and wait? Are you able to keep a clear focus out there with all these cautions? Anything concerning you in that number 24 machine yet?
I definitely want a long run. I feel like I have a little bit of pace advantage against Josh there. Track position is key this race, and I had a screen freeze as I was getting loose in that 1st run and lost the lead because of it. So now it's just trying to recover back, and it's hard to run behind him. Definitely inflate my right front, and then the car just doesn't really want to turn anymore. But the warm track, it's leading to some good racing. I think we had really good racing in stage 1, so hopefully we can go green from there, or just go green for a little while here and try to emulate what we had there, and I think I maybe got something for him. We'll see.
Well, it's still a long ways to go. Do you think you're going to be able to possibly take a lunge at Josh? Is that in the cards for at least the 2nd stage win?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not out of the question. I think if I get a good enough run on him, I'll be able to take the opportunity, try to get the lead back. I mean, track position is everything, so every opportunity I can get to get in front of him, I'm going to take. But race surely isn't over, and there's definitely a lot that can happen still. So we'll stay patient. We'll stay out here. We'll mind our business, bide our time, and we'll be there at the end.
Well, going to try to get it back under control and get that Flatline Motorsports number 24 back up there in the lead. Good luck with the rest of the race, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Benson Arthur checking in with us here. And it's always so great that we can get these drivers to join us. I mean, that's some cool stuff. I don't know if I would necessarily be able to do that myself, but certainly under caution, it's something that I might consider. You got to really have your concentration and your strategy all figured out. You certainly don't want somebody interrupting that kind of thing. But either way, great to have Vincent Arthur join us here live. So what do you think out there? Everything cool, groovy? You enjoying it? Well, make sure to subscribe. That's right. If you're not already subscribed, why? You're going to be missing out. We got the NORA trucks. We got the NORA Cup. What more could you want? We got Abby's Sweet Treats. We're giving away cookies tonight. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify buttons, hit all those buttons, and also type cookies into the chat tonight, and you'll be entered in for a chance to win a dozen cookies from Abby's Sweet Treats. And you saw them there on the start of the broadcast. Get a chance to see them again here very soon, but always a good chance to get some free sugary goodness. And what more could you want? Well, I think Josh Conover wants to take the second stage win and take it all at the end of the night, because he's putting all the cookies out there on the table. Conover for Flatline Motorsports looking solid, but I tell you what, Flatline Motorsports, Vincent Arthur struggling a little bit on that restart. Brady Moats right there to keep him honest. Arthur able to squeeze back into that second position though. The drivers really starting to behave themselves here on these restarts, and I think that's really what we're looking for, is to make sure that we don't get too many more cautions. I think Anthony Mackie though starting to swap positions there with Jacob Vladelich, and I think they have now got that one worked out. Mackie for Prestige TRD now up into that 13th position. Back up in front, though, it's like Cody Height managing to hold on to that 5th place. It's up 14 spots here. He is on the lead lap strategy. And also, I should mention that Anthony Mackie did come in on that lap 91 caution. So Mackie does have much newer tires than anyone else in the field, and that may play a pivotal role at the end of this race. Either way, Height up there in 5th, Brian Powell in 4th, up 9 positions. What a solid run. I mean, Powell just had a little partial incident not that long ago, but to find himself all the way back up at 4th, that is something else. Hollinger, he too has had a couple of issues, but just to get it all back together again there in 6th place in that number 21 for Hollinger Racing. And Jake Christenberry in the Prestige TRD number 23, running in 7th spot. As I mentioned, up 10 spots so far. Good running from these drivers. For the Ronnie Norman fan club out there, you can see that number 33 still trying to climb up through this top 10 again. They're having those incidents early on. Now the Flatline Motorsports teammate trying to get back up there to the top 3. And now we've got Christenberry sideways and into the inside wall. Does manage to recover it though after smacking that inside wall. It was quite a thump as he hit that inside. But fortunately, everything back underway here, and we're looking good again for Hollinger and Christenberry. There, Timmy Harper in that 7th spot. He's now almost back to where he started. Harper has seen a lot of action already tonight, and he's been very patient, honestly, and very non-retaliatory. And that's certainly what's necessary tonight. We've got some, I'm hearing some crunching. Not sure where that's coming from, but I'm hearing some expensive decision making out there. There's Chad Engel riding that car way up the track, almost into the wall. Whew. Some very close calls there in the mid pack. No close calls though for Josh Conover. looking solid tonight for Flatline Motorsports in the NOS Flatline Chevy. Driver out of New Jersey, able to hold all of these laps very, very well. And of course, we are coming up to the time of that second stage. So just another 2 more laps and it'll be in the books. About 1 more lap and it'll be in the books. Hanover looks solid right now. Vincent Arthur giving it everything that he's got, but number 24 really struggling to match that pace of the 25. We'll see whether or not he's got something for him at the end. Brady Motes, though, also starting to fall off the pace, but fortunately he's got no challengers there. And Hanover, the winner there in that second stage. So Hanover, Arthur, Motes, Howell, and Height, your top drivers for stage number 2. So with that, we're going to take a brief break here on VirtualRacing.Network. We'll bring you right back here in a moment, and we'll get the last half of this race underway. Stay tuned. And welcome back to our continuing coverage of the NORA Cup Series 2023. We're on lap number 114, and we're back underway here with round number 9 of the season for the NORA Cup Series. And it's Cody Height who's in the lead, Timmy Harper in second, Josh Conover, after pitting, already working on that third spot, now going around the outside of Brandon Dunford. And now Conover drifts way up the track, and I think he makes contact. Conover causing a major collision. That brings out our yellow, and just that quickly, we have had a complete change of events. It looks like Conover's vehicle is still okay. My goodness me, what a change of events. Let's see if we can try to tell all of what just happened there. This was Conover getting a little sideways. Let's back it up here. Does he just sort of get sideways on his own coming through the corner on board? He just gets real hot into the corner, has to lift. And unfortunately, the rear end spins around and he gets tagged. See if we can tell all of what took place here looking from above. But a few cars involved in this one. Unfortunately, Brandon Dumford catching a little bit of damage there. Maybe it didn't quite affect him. But some other drivers here in the mid-pack as Conover comes around. There's the 21 of Zach Hollinger who gets involved. The 33, the 8 of Matthew George. The 45 also involved there, so of Adam Kulikowski, and you can just see the carnage continuing there with Christenberry having to take evasive action in the DoorDash machine, and number 7 of Jacob Vladelich slowly maneuvering through that one. Let's jump back here. We'll take a look at it from Vladelich's point of view, see what it looked like. This on board with Vladelich now, thinking everything is just fine, but a big smoky mess, and he pulls it down to an absolute almost standstill, picks his way through the mess, and manages to bring that car through. Let's see what it looked like from Zach Hollinger's point of view as he comes through this mess here. This is, oh, and just nowhere to go for Hollinger. My goodness me. Well, we've seen a lot here, but I think that was also Ronnie Norman who got caught up in that mess too. So let's see if we can see what it looked like from Norman's point of view. Did he manage to take on damage here as well? And he does, as a couple of cars do a little punting, and unfortunately Ronnie Norman one of those. So difficult going here for these drivers, and we jump back to that live picture. Conover all the way back in 16th now, and just that quickly Conover goes from leading the race and taking the first 2 stage victories to having trouble making a pass on Brandon Dumford for that 3rd spot. My goodness. Well, that might give the opportunity to one of these other drivers to come up through the field. It might give Vincent Arthur the break that he needs to be able to resume the lead. And you can bet these drivers right now for Flatline Motorsports are trying to work it out amongst themselves. Either way, Cody Height, Brandon Dumford say, hey, we're in the lead right now. That's all that matters. And Height is going to lead it back to the green flag here at Martinsville. Down through turns 1 and 2. Timmy Harper now side by side with Brandon Dumford. Just behind it's Vincent Arthur and Brian Powell. Arthur inches ahead of Powell and now down to the inside of Dunford. And we can hear more cars having an issue. Not sure where this was exactly, but I see Conover slowing. See exactly who. I want to say Josh Curry, possibly Matthew George involved in this one. So let's take a look here. This is Matthew George just ahead of the caution coming out. And George getting loose sideways and backs it into the fence. That does collect Curry there, the number 51 car. So Matthew George for Flatline Motorsports also had a really nice night going. Fortunately, it ends in disaster He has to put it into the pits and tow back, and that is going to cost him a couple of laps. So, unfortunate turn of events for a couple of Flatline Motorsports drivers. And now we're looking at a couple of Harper Motorsports drivers who are out in the lead here. So, what an amazing... I mean, you know, you couldn't write a script better than this or different than this that would have more impact. I mean, I don't know if, you know, Conover's still on the lead lap, so he's got a chance. Could work his way back through the field here, but still, to turn it over to Cody Hyde and Timmy Harper, you just never would have guessed that. Of course, Vincent Arthur sitting there in third place. He might have something to say about it before the night is through. So we're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. Well, maybe grab another favorite beverage and a Abby Sweet Treat cookie, and we'll see you back here in just a second. With that, we're about to bring this caution to a close and bring these cars back up to speed once again here at Martinsville. Sold out crowd here, virtual fans packing the stands for NORA once again, and they are side by side through turns 1 and 2. Vincent Arthur now emerging ahead of Tim Harper, still looking to race for that position is Tim Harper. There goes, I think, Brian Powell now dropping back through the order. My goodness, he dropped a bunch of positions in a hurry. Slid the racetrack. Now finds himself back in 10th place. Some more challenging. There goes Vincent Arthur up into the lead just as we're seeing an incident. I think it's Chad Engel who manages to come around. So I don't know. I think Vincent Arthur got that pass done before Engel had his crash. But as they say, yellows breed more yellows. If we can tell, this was maybe already a little bit into this one. Was it Ron? See him there in the 33. It's possible it was, in fact, Ronnie Norman. Until Norman gets sideways coming off the corner. That does check one of the cars up. I think that's all it took. And sent Chad Engel around. Engel not really making contact with any other cars as far as I can see, though Curry did come pretty much to a stop there. So let's go ahead and we'll take one more look at it. Time from Engel there. Yes, indeed. In fact, he does manage to make contact with a couple of cars, including Powell, who had just slid back through the field. And Engel having to make a pit stop as a result, or go through pit road. Jump back to this live picture here, and perfect chance for us to talk about the presenting sponsor of the NORA Cup Series. Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. Abby Sweet Treats is artistically designed cookies made from scratch. They look so good on the outside, it'll make you feel good on the inside. Be sure to comment cookies in the chat tonight to enter yourself to win a free dozen cookies. That's Abby Dreyer, owner in Plymouth, Minnesota. Call them at 812-264-1624. You can reach them at abcobb@gmail.com or Abby Sweet Treats on Facebook. You can see also on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, everywhere. Get your cookies anywhere you get social media. Very thankful to have Abby Sweet Treats on board. And another friendly reminder that we do appreciate new subscribers. So if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you do so. And you'll get a chance to chat with us in the YouTube chat room. We're just checking in right now in YouTube chat land. And Christian Snyder, I think, checking in and letting us know. Chris Full Send says, I got a question. Is he an alien? Well, I believe that was right before Conover wrecked, because the next quote was, okay, that was my fault. As soon as I joined, Conover wrecked, not even in the booth, and I caused broadcaster curse. Yep, it's all your fault, Christian. All your fault, my friend. No, if you could have just been in the booth tonight, none of this would have happened. See, that's the thing. You got to be in the booth with me every single time we cover NORA. Oh, my goodness. No, the full moon curse continues, and I think we're still having Vincent Arthur drop back through the field. Not sure what is happening here, but we've got Arthur and Harper dropping back through the field. And now Harper going ahead, so no real clear indication as to what caused that, but we'll try to get an update for you. And that is going to give over the lead to Cody Height. So I'm not sure if possibly they're going to say that he made a pass late there or something. I'm not really sure, but either way, the green flag is in Barney, the flag man's hands, and we're going again on lap 135. Cody Height throws it down into turn one, no problem. We've already got one sideways. We got, I think it's Zach Hollinger's who's still sitting there sideways. Yes, indeed, it's Hollinger. Is that going to bring out the caution? It does. Indeed, it does bring out the caution. So, with that, we hit the famed double-digit cautions for the race. I knew you were wondering whether or not we would, and we did. And now it looks like Hollinger is sitting and waiting behind the pace truck. So, going to get collected by the rest of the field. Either way, we're going to take a break, and so should you. Kick those legs up. Don't go anywhere. You're sitting on your couch. You have, make it a drinking game. It doesn't matter whether it's alcoholic or not alcoholic. You can have fun with it. Beer caution, wow, that could actually get really dangerous very quickly. But if it's not alcoholic, no trouble whatsoever. If you're drinking lemonade, no trouble. Either way, we'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. as we come back from the caution, you can see the story right there with the pit stops. Cody Height has not stopped since lap 43, which explains why he's still out there in the lead, but somehow doing it with a very light car and very old tires. But Cody Height holding on to that car and keeping it out in front, up 18 spots so far tonight. And obviously, you can't gain many more after this point, but doing a fabulous job there hanging on to that car. Brady Motes, Brandon Dumford racing it out for third place there. Josh Conover manages to squeeze back up into that second spot, and now he's going to give it a chance to try to take over that top position. We've got a crash further back. It's Brian Engel, or Chad Engel, who's gone around. That might bring out the caution, but either way, Conover getting back around and back up into the lead. And now we've got another car. It's Brady Motes. Brady into the wall, and that will bring out our caution. We still got them sliding and bouncing off of walls as they go down the front straightaway. My goodness me, this turns into a crash fest very quickly. See if we can tell exactly what happened to Brady. He had just gotten passed by Brian Powell. Let's see if we tell here, if we go overhead, might get a better understanding of what happened. And it looks like Christenberry tags the back end of Brady Motes and sends him shooting up the track into the Martinsville wall. And he rolls back down again. Driver from Alabama doing really beautifully here up in the top three for quite a while, but unfortunately suffering some issues right there, getting drop kicked from Christenberry. So with that, let's see if we can talk to another one of these drivers here. A little tricky to make this work here. And there we go. Hey, Cody, this is Trevor Greenfield up here in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's going on, Trevor?
Hey, not too much, my friend. Just thought we'd take a chance and see how you're doing out there. You were just holding down that lead pretty good. You're on really, really old tires. You haven't been in for a long time. You ever going to stop with that number 4 or that number 22?
I do have to make one more pit stop for fuel, but honestly, the long green flag run we had, my tires were at 99% after that. So tire wear is not really an issue right now.
That's amazing. Well, you've certainly been holding everybody off except for Josh Conover. Do you think there's a chance if you stick around long enough, you might be able to throw it back down the inside of Josh at the end?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to try for sure. The car gets a little tight on the long runs, and it seems like Josh has better long run speed than I do, but hopefully we can get one spot or two spots better than we did last night in the trucks.
Well, there you go, my friend, and certainly you were looking great last night. You're looking great tonight. Good luck for the end of this one. You're up 17 spots. You only got to take one more, and you'll be in victory lane, my friend.
I'm going for that last to first challenge.
There you go. Good luck. So that is Cody Height checking in with us. We appreciate all these drivers letting us bring them into tonight's racing, and certainly great to have him be a part of the evening tonight and the entertainment, and have him be able to check in live with us. So if you have any questions out there in YouTube land, you want us to talk to a specific driver, the next caution, let us know. Feel free to let us know in the chat what you want us to ask them or who you want us to talk to. I'm sure there's some drivers out there that don't want us to talk to them. I know Jacob Vladelich, one of them. But either way, I was thinking about Ronnie Norman, but Ronnie's not been having a super awesome night. So if you want me to get Ronnie Norman in the booth, let me know. Brienne Conover checks in. She says cookies. Well, I hope you, or I think there's only been like 2 or 3 people that have chimed in for cookies so far, so I hope you get them. There we go, Josh Conover back under green with Brandon Dumford just behind. We've got more cars smacking the wall. Cody Height I don't know what to say, my friend. I guess we really do have the curse. Maybe we just shouldn't talk to anybody else under these cautions. But we do stay green. I guess that's the one positive of it. Unless you're Cody Height, you'd love to see this get regrouped back up. But that is just some sadness for sure. And we don't know whether or not he got drop kicked. But we'll try to jump back and see if we can find out where that happened. This was on the start. So if we can take a look, this was on that start. And we watch Cody Height there in 4th place. And it looks like he gets into it with Powell. And then he sits there with Christenberry just behind. So unfortunate stuff in the restart for Cody Height, and they do throw the yellow. Brady Moats, I think, the unfortunate recipient of some more damage. We're going to take another look at this one here with Brady. And it's a self-inflicted incident. He does spin out, does a couple of pirouettes, and recovers the car to bring out the yellow flag. Cody Height sends his appreciation for that yellow coming out and a chance to catch back up with the group. And with that, we are back under caution here for the 12th time tonight. Hope you're enjoying this one. We sure are too. One of our favorite colors is the color yellow. So we love it. Bring on more. No, don't bring on more yellow. Green is more our favorite color than yellow is. But, you know, hey, yellow either. All right. A lot of pacing though tonight, and it's always tricky. You know, you want to focus on that long run strategy, even at a short track like this. I mean, you want to focus on 20, 30 laps at a time at least, if not more, and just really focus on that overall balance on the car. Try to get it dialed in, but the car's just not really participating tonight for those long runs. So we're going to step aside for just a second and catch our breath, and we'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. And the cars line back up again. The truck drops off the track. And we're green again here at Martinsville. But for how long? That's anybody's wonder. Conover leads it back with Dunford. And now Arthur back in that mix after Arthur dropped all the way back. He's now up into second place once again. And Now it looks like how it did not that long ago, and both Conover and Arthur have had major issues since then. But, and just in time, we see Tim Harper getting turned sideways there. The help of, I believe, Adam Kulikowski. Harper having to now recover back to 10th spot. Looking up ahead, there's Kulikowski now racing with Zach Hollinger on the outside. And they go in side by side. Hollinger backs out a little bit. He's going to try maybe the over-under with Ronnie Norman just checking in right behind that. They race off the corner. Here comes Hollinger down to the inside. He sends it. Trying to grip that low line. Ronnie Norman looking on here. This is what Norman sees off of his roof cam. That last time by Josh Conover, fastest car on track. And Brian Powell, I believe, having an issue. There he is, slow down the straight. So Powell's woes continue, but keeps it going again. Back in front. There's Conover stretching out to a 10-car length lead over Vincent Arthur. So Arthur not quite able to match that raw pace yet. Last time a 19.39 to Conover's 19.21. So looks like Arthur a little squirrely coming off the corner. Let's see if we watch on board whether we pick up some of this looseness coming off the corner. It's pretty rock solid there on exit out of turn 2. Dig in deep into turns 3 and 4. Let it balance itself coming off the corner. Pretty solid so far. Looks like that. He's starting to gain on Josh Conover again. There you can see the gap had grown quite a bit, now has started to shrink. Quite a good chunk of real estate between Arthur and Dunford. Dunford 2.3 seconds back down the track, and we got to go all the way back to Timothy Harper, who's now managed to get back to Adam Kulikowski. All the way back to challenge for 7th place with Christenberry just behind him. One of the best battles happening right now on the track. Also, Hollinger, Ronnie Norman having a battle right now as well. Just a little ways up the track. There's Norman very close to the back end of Hollinger. This is for 4th place. Zach Hollinger up 6 spots so far in that 21 machine, and Norman gets through on the low side. Hollinger slides up a bit, and Norman slides on through there into the 4th spot. Ronnie Norman fan club out there in YouTube land going crazy for sure. So that makes Flatline Motorsports 1, 2, 4. Brandon Dunford right now representing Nightmare Motorsports, just hanging on to that 3rd spot. That Publix machine, brightly colored. As I've mentioned before, Publix, those great supermarkets down here in Florida. Let me tell you, you move from a total other state, one of the very first things you see in, where are the good supermarkets? Publix is the top quality. Certainly great to see that on board. Dunford's ride there. Wow, that looks like Hollinger really getting up into the wall, struggling at this point. That's Cody Height, who's just about to take that position, but I think there may be something wrong with Hollinger's 21. There he is, up into that wall again. Let's jump on board with Hollinger. Does he have a semi-terminal problem here? Hollinger tries to hold it in there, and now we've got Cody Height maybe having an issue. No, Height finally deciding to bring it down onto pit lane. This is going to actually really cost him, though, having to make this green flag stop when no one else does, unless we stay green until the end. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But Conover already going to put him a lap down. There you go. Flatline Motorsports, Josh Conover and Vincent Arthur doing what needs to be done here at Martinsville. Working on lap 176 of 240. You can see quite a big gap now. That's got to be 25, 30 car lengths back to Brandon Dunford. Ronnie Norman not very far back from him, though, so a possible challenge coming up for Norman over Dunford. Stay tuned for that as Height finally exits the pit. So Height now a couple of laps down, I believe. As can certainly happen at a track like this, very easy to have happen. And Timmy Harper now up into 7th place, still holding behind Adam Kulikowski. Wonder if we're going to see Harper try to make the maneuver or whether he's just going to try to be patient and wait for his chance. Here comes Harper down the inside. He's going to be able to take Kulikowski. Kulikowski leaves the door open. And Harper dives on through, so he'll hold on to that spot, move him up into 6th. Timmy Harper up into 6th place. Some really good stuff from the number 12 out of Harper Motorsports. Hearing a couple of cars tagging the wall around this track. It's like and you just in stereo you can just hear these cars basically nailing the walls pretty much every single lap in just about every corner out there. Josh Conover for the NOS machine now dives down to the bottom side on Matthew Hibbs. No, excuse me, on Jacob Vladelich there for JRC Sim Team. Putting him a lap down. Vincent Arthur soon to do the same thing. Drivers Conover, of course, and Arthur finishing 1-2 in the first 2 stages. So it would not be a surprise to see them finish this way here today. And Conover would be able to take the sweep. And that would be 2 weeks that he will have done that. And I don't know whether that's been done in previous NORA competition, but take the sweep for 2 weeks, that would be something else. Not 2 weeks in a row, of course. Wishing maybe the dirt tracks, the Bristol dirt track last week in amazing fashion, but it technically that would be 3 weeks in a row that you would have drivers taking the sweep. It's just amazing that a driver could hop out of one car and hop into another. It's so competitive. Even if it is at the same track, it's still pretty amazing stuff. So Ronnie Norman holding on there in 4th, and it looks like Harper is going to get by Hollinger, so that puts him up into that 5th spot. With Hollinger now drifting up the track a little bit, Kulikowski taking a look underneath. Zach Hollinger there for 6th place. Alright, so if you haven't already and you're out there in YouTube land, you're watching this, you want to know, Kulikowski just about wipes out Hollinger, and Hollinger, blue's coming off the corner. Oh my goodness me. if you have not already, this is the time to chime in on the YouTube chat and type cookies for your chance to win a dozen free cookies. A dozen. That's like 12, you know, unless you're a baker, in which case it's 13. But a dozen of those cookies, you could eat them all in one day and just, you know, call that your cookie day. Abby's Sweet Treat Cookie Day. So I invite you to try to get a dozen of those free cookies, but either way, regardless of whether you get a dozen free cookies, say thank you to Abby's Sweet Treats by heading over to their page and getting a dozen cookies anyway. And they'll ship them out to you from Minnesota, have a little bit of snow on them. Arriving fresh and cold and crisp and yummy. Your front door. You'll love it. Abby's Sweet Treat. Presenting sponsor here of the NORA Cup Series and NORA Cup Series as well. So, as you see Hollinger there, catching up to the number 51 of Josh Curry, who is already a lap down. Look up at the front. Josh Conover doing what it takes. He's now got about 1.37 seconds on Vincent Arthur, who has managed to climb back. Both of these drivers, you have to say, doing an amazing job of climbing back in this race after dropping back and having difficulty really gathering it back up. Arthur doing a fantastic job of that, and now up in that second spot. 4 Chevys represented in that top 5. And get that in the logo. There you go. 4 Chevys right now in the top 5. 5 of the top 6 being Chevys at the moment. So I don't know what that says about anything. There's a lot of bow ties up there. Flatline Motorsports holding on to 3 of those top 5 positions. So with that, why don't we go ahead and give you some laps while we're under green of just some engine noise out there. We'll see if we can go for a few laps without having any distraction of announcers at all. Anything major happens, we'll try to get the camera on it. a caution that comes out. Some things are starting to get good there between Harper and Norman and Dunford. It looks like Hollinger's night continues to erode. Take a look here and see what happened. He had just left the pit. Was it this lap? Backing it up? Sure, but it says that he had just left the pit. So perhaps the lap before. That's Christenberry just behind. I believe it's in this corner that Hollinger has the problem with that. We're seeing all the leaders down onto pit lane. And a little bit of a blink out there from Hollinger into Christenberry, into Powell. Powell really with nowhere to go. See if camera on board with Powell. See if we can tell what it looked like from his standpoint. Nowhere to go, right into those cars. That another vehicle doesn't get caught up in this mess. So with that, we're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We got about 32 laps remaining here of round number 9 of the NORA Cup Series here at Martinsville. Stay tuned, everyone. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Just about to come back to the green flag, and Vincent Arthur, I think, has somehow jumped Conover there on the restart. Conover getting left behind, and now it's Arthur who's in front. The Flatline Motorsports teammates have swapped positions. Looking a little bit further back, it's Tim Harper with Ronnie Norman just behind. So now Norman on the march, and with just 28 laps remaining here at Martinsville, who will it be? Who will take victory? Who will emerge with the most points for tonight? Will it be Norman, who has already come up through the field 3 positions? Tim Harper, who's been up through the field 3 positions? Will it be Vincent Arthur, who started up there on the pole position, came in with the points lead? Will it be Conover, who's looking to possibly take the lead again? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out, because we have another incident, this time involving Kristen Berry, I believe, and Brian Powell. Let's look back and check it out. Berry really struggling with that machine, getting it loose, sideways, spinning about and such, and Powell coming ever so close to tagging Kristen Berry there. jump back out to the live picture. So with that, or hurry up and wait. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here at VirtualRacing.Network. The NORA Pace truck pulls off. That is going to bring Arthur and Conover once again onto that front straight, and we are back underway this time. Arthur, not such a huge jump on this start, and Conover able to hang in there pretty good. Timmy Harper and Ronnie Norman fighting it out there again for that third spot. Norman ducks in behind. I think Norman just probably pretty happy with all that's gone on tonight. Same with Timmy. Honestly, these top four drivers are probably pretty happy just to be where they're at. It's been an event-filled night, and we've got some drivers having trouble. That's Brandon Dunford, who'd been having such a great night, and now the caution comes out. That will take him to the back of the pack. Fortunately, though, should only see him drop down to 8th place. Now Josh Curry still out there on the lead lap. No, not on the lap. Just the first car a lap down. Vincent Arthur just trying to get this one done here. 20 laps remain. We'll be back here in just a second on VirtualRacing.Network, the official home of the NORA Cup and Truck Series. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Listen to the intro music. You'll love it. Well, the good news is sooner or later we will run out of laps, and that is in 16. So doesn't matter how many cautions we have, just 16 laps remain. Will we see green flag till the end? Vincent Arthur gonna try to hold on here until the final flag flies. Tim Harper now trying the inside on Josh Conover. Can he do it headed into turns 3 and 4? Harper drifts up the track and almost wipes out Conover. He keeps it down low though, and they run side by side. Now Ronnie Norman into the wall. He'll save that number 33 and keep it running just in front of Jake Christenberry there. That is not for position. Back up front, Vincent Arthur, no trouble. And it looks like Tim Harper has gotten by Josh Conover in that mix-up. And now Conover going to try to work the underside on Harper. So now we have a battle for second place, and this is not what Conover wanted to see. Conover needs to have a chance to take Arthur to take the sweep. So with that, putting Harper in between the two, this is really putting a dent in the chances of Conover being able to take that fight up there to Arthur. And there Harper slides up the track. I think Conover getting the best of him there, but Conover now free to go chase down Arthur, but unfortunately it's dropped, or it's gone all the way up to a second, over a second, 1.3 seconds now up to Arthur. So we're going to have to see some really fast laps out of Conover if he wants to take this victory here tonight. Conover setting the fastest lap of the race, a 19.13. And now we've got a car around. It's Cody Height. That'll bring out the yellow flag. Ronnie Norman brings it to a stop just after Conover had set the fastest lap of the race. Just to let you know how serious he was, as Cody Height has trouble entering the corner there under yellow and hit the wall yet again. Not sure what that was all about. Hopefully he can get that car under control, because he's still got a top 10 going here. It was a much better night for Cody Height, shaping up not that long ago, but again, you got to take the top 10s and the top 5s where you can. Unfortunately, that may be too many cause contacts that might drop him out of tonight's race. So with that, we've got 8 laps to go. We're not going to take a break. We're going to stay here commercial free, thanks to Abby's Sweet Treat. So now this is your chance to drop that cookies into the chat and take a chance on getting a dozen free cookies delivered to your door. And by the way, even if you don't manage to succeed and get those free cookies, hey, Abby's even working a deal for you. I was reading about it on her Facebook. $5, that's all it costs for shipping on your first order, so you get a 50% discount. It doesn't get any better than that. It's a $20 minimum order. Turnaround's about 3 weeks. You get beautiful custom artisan cookies, and they are something else, making me salivate just thinking about them. But just $5 shipping on your first order. After that, it is $10 regular shipping, and you can support, you know, some racing folks, a mom of several kids, part of the racing community. I saw that she had in her photo that we had cropped there as part of the slideshow, she's actually wearing an SRX shirt. So a racing mom who's baking and trying to bring what she can do really well, which is bake cookies to the world, and what a great thing to support. So head over to Abby's Sweet Treats on Facebook and on your rest of your social media. Love the new sponsor for Dora. Christian says, yes, we do too. And can't wait to surround ourselves with a bunch of cookies. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just dial up, like, you know, maybe money doesn't have to change hands or whatever. We could just take trade out in cookies. That would be awesome. Either way, I could be bribed I'm not ashamed. Could be bribed with some cookies to maybe we get the kids on here. We do a little interview. Why not? Have a good time. Get Abby on here. Get the kids on here. Call the race. We need some announcers up here in the booth. Good chance to get some experience. Just playing around. Either way, make sure you get in there. This is your last chance to get those cookies in the chat. We've got a 4-lap shootout to see who's going to take the win here in Martinsville. We'll see if we can keep it green that long. Vincent Arthur in the top spot. Timmy Harper going to be starting in second place. Conover in third and Dunford in fourth. And oh my goodness, Harper with a big problem. It snags several drivers, including Conover, who is still stopped on the front stretch. He'll get it going again, though. And Harper pulls it into the pits. I have no idea what to even say about that. There are no words. Let's just watch this one from the green flag. We'll watch from onboard Tim Harper's machine and see if you can tell me what happened here. So, to me, it looks like Harper just got on the gas a little too late, kind of spun up the tires a little bit. It got a little away from him. The next thing you know, it was Conover who got caught in the middle of that. Now, let's watch it one more time. Let's watch it from Conover's point of view. It's going to be interesting, folks. Conover steps on it, and that's not what we were intending to do. Gotta recover this one. And point it back towards the front, this time from 7th place. So with that, I don't think we will get a green-white checkered, that's for sure, but I mean, unless Conover can pull out some magic here, I don't think we're going to see that sweep that we have been thinking might be possible, and Conover is going to stop in here, possibly to take new tires. No tires are going to make that big of a difference, but Conover's the magic man who seems to know the right buttons to push in this thing, and I'm just a guy who sits up in the booth and calls it. So either way, got to get out and get back around this track in a hurry to catch up with the group in the back. Conover still sitting on pit lane. Does get away safely there. Rolling again just in front of the truck, so he will circulate. Get around just as fast as possible. But with that, Conover will rejoin the back of the field. We've got a car waiting for him there. I think that was Cody Height. And now Conover passing several vehicles. Stopped there behind Josh Curry. Curry somehow, is that for real? Curry is on the lead lap again. So congratulations to him to get back on that lead lap, and now we've got Cody Height up there. So your top 8 drivers still on the lead lap. Arthur, Ronnie Norman now going to be starting in 2nd place. Could Norman pull this one out? Brandon Dunford in 3rd, Kulikowski in 4th, Conover going to be restarting in 5th place. So this is it for all the marbles, green, white, checkered. Here we go, 2 to go. Arthur with a big jump. Now the play is 4 behind. That's Norman hanging on to 2nd place. Dunford in 3rd, Kulikowski in 4th. Here comes Conover trying to make that move. He's going to ride Kulikowski up the track a bit. Conover trying to get it done. Vincent Arthur across that line. Just one more remaining. Just behind it's Conover, who just still can't get by Dunford. So Dunford holding on to 3rd here. Arthur, he's going to see the checkered flag first. It's Vincent Arthur, your winner here at Martinsville, and Conover just at the line manages to pip Dunford for that second spot, or for that third spot, excuse me. Ronnie Norman and the Norman fan club out there goes crazy to see him recover to second place. What a run from Ronnie Norman. And Josh Conover has got to be furious. Even though he manages to take that podium position, he certainly had the vehicle to take another win tonight. He had Vincent Arthur's number pretty much through a lot of this race. And he'll take third, and he'll take the points, but I think he was hoping to get so very much more. As Vincent Arthur now celebrates on the front stretch. Stay tuned. We're going to bring up the post-race results and jump into Victory Circle here. Discussion, the Abby Sweet Treat Victory Circle post-race report coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. And there you can see it on your screen. Vincent Arthur taking victory here at Martinsville, and no trouble for him in those closing stages with Josh Conover not in the mix. He was able to easily take it, but either way, Flatline Motorsports once again able to dominate the results, taking the top three positions. Ronnie Norman, a fantastic recovery to manage to get up there into second, and Josh Conover recovering very well, but still only able to take third here tonight. Brandon Dunford in fourth for Nightmare Motorsports. Jacob Gladelich taking fifth spot for JRC Sim Team. Cody Height, he was up there in the second spot, but he will lead Harper Motorsports here with a sixth. Josh Curry in seventh. What a recovery from Curry. Just unbelievable. The luck that he had tonight, and to end up there at seventh is just insane. Eighth place going to Adam Kulikowski. Ninth, Jake Christenberry. 10th, Timmy Harper, who again has just some rotten luck. Really difficult stuff for the Harper Motorsports namesake there, but we know he'll recover. Great racer there in Timmy Harper. 11th for Chad Engel. 12th for Brian Powell, 13th for Zach Hollinger, 14th for Anthony Mackey, 15th for Brady Motes, 16th for Matthew George, 17th for Cameron Thompson, 18th for John Cottle, and once again, Cottle having a great night up until he had an incident, and then just so unfortunate to see him have to drop back out of that lead group. But either way, there's always next time. Zachary Taylor for Agent Inc. Racing taking 19th, Matthew Hibbs in 20th, Peyton Tulloch in 21st, and 22nd will go to Nick Geilis. So with that, let's go ahead and check in here in our post-race discussion area and see if we can pull in our top drivers. Let's go ahead and start with third place. It's really kind of weird to say third place here for Josh Conover, but Josh, as you join us here in the Abby Sweet Treats Victory Circle discussion, unfortunately, it's not the number 25 who takes victory here tonight. We thought maybe you'd have the sweep, but either way, after that recovery, it's got to feel good to at least get third. Congratulations on a podium.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I guess I don't even know if bittersweet would be the right word, but I guess it's kind of karma for last night. Didn't win a stage and stole the race win from them boys, and swept stages tonight and then got it stolen from me, so I guess it works out.
And it does work out, but nevertheless, talk us through what took place there. It looked like coming to that start, it was Harper who kind of misjudged that start and maybe got wheel loose a little bit there and came over into you and turned you around. Fortunately, you were able to recover it, but it is kind of a heartbreaking way to stumble out of the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back even further than that. You know, we had that caution late. Well, the first caution, I should say, because obviously we had cautions after that. But Vince took 2, and I took 4. And the way the race had gone, I kind of figured we could have ended under green, which I think I probably could have got back to Vince and, you know, raced with him. But he was way quicker short run. They were downshifting in the corners and getting better exits, and I was just staying in 4th all night. And kind of why I needed the long run. Once, like when I was out front, not shifting and stuff like that, I could kind of keep pace, and then if I hit my marks right, I could kind of gap Vince very little, not a whole lot, but enough to stay out in front. But the cautions were killing me, and then I think Timmy I think he's restarted first and just got on it, got some wheel spin, and I think he got a little help from behind from, I think it was Brandon. But luckily these things are somewhat tanks and not like the trucks, and I could come in, get some of it fixed, and have a heck of a finish with Brandon. And that was probably the closest finish I've been a part of in a long time. Absolutely.
Well, that was quite a battle between you two. Certainly, looking over the YouTube chat room, it was Christian Snyder who actually takes the blame for it. He says that was his fault. As soon as he joined, Conover had a wreck, so not even in the booth, and he caused the broadcast curse. But certainly, you did manage to recover. You got up there into 3rd, and it's got to feel good once again to look at those results and see Flatline Motorsports 1, 2, 3.
Oh, always. I mean, especially, after my spin, I forget what I even did at this point, but just I thought it was over there, just trying to come through the field at a short track like, Martinsville or even Bristol and stuff like that. It gets hairy sometimes, just not sure when to make your moves and stuff, and just short track racing basically. And we had that long run, and I found myself back in the lead with Vince behind me, and like I said, that one caution came out and he took 2 and I took 4, and we're kind of hanging on from there. And then Ronnie got put in the wall I think when Timmy got loose again. We were 3 wide, but he thought he wasn't getting back up there, and when you can finish 1, 2, 3, it's a good night. So I mean, I wish I was where Vince was at, but can't win them all. I will gladly take leading as much as I did in front of him, because as I've said numerous times, he's like an alien when it comes to this series. And he even said it, it was my race, and he kind of stole it from me. So when he says that to me, I'll take that as almost winning a championship.
And a mini feel good there to snag that 3rd on the last lap, even though it's from a great driver like Brandon Dunford, who I know would have loved to steal that 3rd position tonight, but still, just to be able to get it at the very end, a mini victory there. Hey, Josh, always a class show, always a great race, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there next time to challenge Vincent, Arthur, and the rest of the gang.
Well, so actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about this, but next week we'll actually be going going to Daytona. For the beginning of the year, we're having server issues. We couldn't load a fixed setup at Daytona, so we pulled a audible and went to Talladega. So rather than Dega next week, we're just going to go back to Daytona and kind of flip the races around. So super speedway racing is good. Flatline for the most part, whenever we nail the strategy, is tough to beat. We get Matty George up there with us, and Vincent and Ronnie and myself, and we're pretty good when we get working together. So hopefully we can find our magic again, and maybe have a 1, 2, 3, 4 hopefully.
That would be an interesting night. We'll look forward to it at Daytona next week. Then you heard it from the owner of the NORA series himself. Hey, a great show tonight, Josh. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Thank you. And real quick, want to thank Abby's Sweet Treats for coming on for, I think Ronnie said it was 10 weeks, but our first actual sponsor. And I know they were doing a giveaway in chat, I believe. So I know I had my fiance enter for us because I was trying to win it myself. So no, like I said, thank to her for coming on and helping us out, and Ronnie for hooking us up with that. And I know obviously nobody likes cautions, but it is Martinsville, so hopefully it wasn't too bad of a show.
It was a lot of fun tonight. We do appreciate it, Josh, and definitely love having that new sponsor on board. So good luck next week.
Thank you.
That is Josh Conover, the third driver out of the Flatline Motorsports stable, who finishes up there. He managed to just take Brandon Dunford there, coming to the line. Now let's go ahead and chat with our second place finisher, also out of Flatline Motorsports, Ronnie Norman. What an amazing finish for yourself. I mean, we were just talking with Josh here a second ago. Kind of weird to talk to Josh, not in victory circle, not even in second place, but in third place. But nevertheless, to say that that was a lucky finish for him, it's even luckier for you. Ronnie, how the heck did you get up into second place? And by the way, Jake Young out there saying, give it up for second place, Big Ron.
Yeah, no, I was a little bit all over the place tonight. So a little bit in the back, a little bit in the front. Luckily, we're here in the front when the checkered flag flew. So, yeah, no, it was, oh, man, I don't even know. I don't even know how I'm here. I hated to see Josh get spun on that restart, but I was just settling for a fourth or fifth there at the end. I honestly thought I was going to get a meatball flag on when we were 3 wide and I got sent to the wall. It said I had left front damage, so I thought for sure it was going to call me down pit road or give me the flag, and it never did, thank God. So I got lucky there, didn't have to go to the back, and caught a break. Unfortunately, it was at the hands of another teammate that got wrecked for it. Got us back up there, and I was able to restart, get a good jump, get into second behind Vincent, and then just bring her home second and get out of here with what we were able to get.
Well, you say just able to bring it home, and it just seems like for a lot of drivers tonight, it was difficulty just trying to bring that car home. You talk a little bit about how difficult it was. I mean, you made contact with numerous cars. You had a couple of, I think you even had one self-spin. There was just a lot going on tonight. Was it difficult to keep the car pointed straight here at Martinsville? Was it just too difficult, close quarters racing? What did you find to be the troubles tonight?
I feel like the main thing for me is when we get these long runs going, it's just remembering your braking zone, paying attention, not looking over at your relative or looking at your laps and then missing your braking point and this and that. So big thing for me is just always making sure to hit your mark when you go into the turns, because one mess up and you're going up to the wall and then you're getting passed. If there's a long line underneath you, you're just waiting to get back down. So I think I self-spun a couple times, which is just trying to get loose off the corners, and it's not easy because I self-spun last night, and so I think I was a little bit hesitant with getting off corners here tonight. So I just didn't want to pull what I did last night in the truck series and wreck some people. So luckily, if I did do a loop around a couple times here. I was able to just do it on my own and get going. So wasn't trying to create any carnage, just tried to stay out of it. But unfortunately, got caught up in one big one and was able to get all that fixed. So, we'll finish how we finished. And, like I said, it was just the braking, just making sure you always hit your braking marks. And we're up here. I don't know how, so we'll take it.
Well, either way, headed to the high banks of Daytona next week. It's going to be a completely different sort of race. Any thoughts on next week at Daytona?
I'm not a big fan of super speedway racing, but when it comes to these guys and these teammates I got, then it makes it pretty exciting because you got a good group of boys to run with, and so we always expect to be up front running with this flatline crew. So somehow, well, I guess I don't really say somehow, we got another 1, 2, 3 tonight, so that was awesome. I didn't know if it was going to happen there for a while, and then it ended up happening. So good job on everybody here on this team. But just congrats to Vincent on the win and Josh for making his way back up into third. So luckily, after he went to the back after that wreck, I think he restarted sixth or something. So it wasn't too much for him to come back through the field, but he's able to make it happen and bring out that podium.
Well, Ronnie, you did talk about it was a little difficult. The focus to try to stay, pointed forward tonight. I think I know what the secret is. You can see if you can get it for next week, and that's you need some Abbey Sweet Treat on board there that you can go to one of those. They'll keep you laser focused, and they taste so good. It'll taste so good inside you as well, make you feel good. Get those Abbey Sweet Treats. in your belly, and you'll be possibly up there at Victory Circle next week. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, no, definitely got to get some of those in. And I'm sure I haven't been able to get any yet, but I'm sure I will in the future. So, yeah, I definitely want to thank her for coming on board and sponsoring the series for us. It's hopefully we can help her get her name out there a little bit more. And I think I watched a little bit of the broadcast tonight during cautions, and everything looked good. So happy with that. Happy to have FanDuel in the car. Happy to have you broadcasting for us week in and week out. And hopefully we can move on to Daytona and maybe keep the cautions to a minimum, because here the past couple of weeks we've been letting them rip pretty good. So hopefully we can settle down a little bit and stay out of the big one next week.
Well, that sounds great. We'll look forward to it next week. Congratulations, taking second place somehow, Ronnie, and the fan club out there is absolutely celebrating with you. Good job tonight. We'll see you next week, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Ronnie Norman for Flatline Motorsports. He jumped 5 positions tonight, taking second place. It doesn't even begin to tell the story. But that is to say that, once again, the man in the 24 machine did something, once again, that it's just like, it started off with Vincent Arthur taking pole position, and then it was the Josh Conover show after that. It seemed like Conover had Arthur matched and was up there in the lead, and on the long runs, it just didn't seem like Arthur could possibly take Conover. But, Vincent, as you join us here in the Abby Sweet Treats Victory Circle discussion, congratulations on taking victory. You really did know what to do there in that final stint, and you certainly managed to put that Flatline Motorsports in a place that was untouchable there at the end. Certainly stayed out of the wrecks. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This was a tough one.
Indeed, a really tough one, and I mean, just everybody experiencing how difficult. I think they'd love to know what kind of magic horseshoe you have that manages to keep you out of these wrecks, but still, talk us through your night. How was it tonight? Did you, we talked to you at that caution flag. Did you think that you had something to beat Josh tonight? He seemed to be better on those long runs. What was your take from it, and would it have made a difference if it had stayed green most of the night instead of 16 caution?
Yeah, I definitely don't think I had anything for Josh. I think track position was pretty key here, and once he got it, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to pass him without something happening. And I got a little bit of luck there at the beginning of the third stage when he got wrecked, but he was able to get back up there, and then I just lost track of what lap it was and rolled over the commitment cone and got sent to the back. So it was at that point it was damage limitation. I didn't think that I was going to be able to get back up there, but just luckily kept my nose clean. Try to give everybody space. I know I forced a couple moves that were a little risky, but everybody was respectful and everybody gave room. It was a pretty good race. Other than that, I think at the end there, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get Josh straight up on speed, so I had to pull something. And watching the Cup race on Sunday, the 2 tires that got Larson the win, I figured, if there's 30 laps to go, might be some yellows, at least give me some fresh right sides, and the higher tire pressures on the left sides might tighten me up a little bit with where I needed it. So I was tight all night and loose off the corner, and that's just not the way you want to be here. So that helped out a lot. I think that last run would have been really interesting had it gone green, the 100 lap run we had to the end or whatever, because I was good on fuel, and everybody else was not. So it would have been really interesting to see how that played out. I can thank Josh's not shifting trick for helping me with fuel saving there. But once we got to the end, I could get into the corner harder with shifting, and keep the car rotated. And 2 tires worked out much better than I was expecting. So had to pull a little bit of strategy there. Knew I wasn't going to get it straight off on speed, but we got it in the end, and that's what's important. And we got this grandfather clock, and there's 5 extra bonus points going towards the playoffs.
You get all the goodies for finishing up there in the front, and of course the prestige of winning a NORA Cup Series race, which you've already done this season. But a fantastic way to close out this week at Martinsville, and really managing to avoid all those wrecks was the key here tonight. Certainly with the new sponsor, Abby Sweet Treats, on board, Probably a dozen cookies wouldn't seem so bad from Abby's Sweet Treats. But really, Vincent, taking a look next week with the Flatline stable. Josh already saying that he's looking forward to Daytona. Ronnie, he's not normally a fan of super speedways, but when it's you guys, he's looking forward to it. What are you thinking about next week at Daytona?
I think, barring anything insane happening, out of the ordinary, I think we'll have a good shot there. Me and Josh work really well together, and then when we get all four of us in line, we're pretty untouchable there. So I feel like we've dominated those races, and we haven't really been able to close them out. So we'll try to continue what we did in Atlanta here at Daytona, which I love that track. So hopefully we'll try to continue that form of plate racing and come out on top and finally get ourselves one.
Well, beautifully done here tonight at Martinsville, taking round number 9. Anyone else you'd like to thank before we close out the broadcast?
Got to thank Abby's Sweet Treats for coming on board. It's huge for the series. Got to thank Josh Conover for letting me drive this thing. Got to thank Pepsi, Exalta, Red Bull Energy, everybody at Flatline Motorsports. Just everybody who allows me to do this. It's been an honor and it's been a pleasure to race with these guys every week. And thank you for putting on the broadcast.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So good luck next week at Daytona, my friend.
Thank you.
That is Vincent Arthur. He takes the victory here with no trouble, managing to stay out of any sort of major trouble tonight, and actually brings it home pretty. The car's still pretty straight, so not a whole lot of work for the body man to do over this next week. Ronnie Norman bringing home second place, and Josh Conover completing the Flatline Motorsports domination of the NORA Cup Series here at Martinsville. Congratulations to the rest of the finishers here tonight. And, of course, let's get one more chance to talk about our presenting sponsor. It's Abby's Sweet Treats. There, you can see it on your screen. Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. Artistically designed cookies made from scratch. They look so good on the outside, it'll make you feel good on the inside. Be sure to comment cookies as you did tonight. One of the lucky winners tonight, or one of the lucky commenters tonight, will win a dozen free cookies. We're so happy to have them on board. You can reach them at 812-264-1624, abcobb@gmail.com, Abby Sweet Treats on Facebook and Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. So great to have them with us. So great to have you with us. We appreciate everybody stopping by and saying hello tonight here in the YouTube chat room and out there in YouTube land. Well, we'll see you next week from Daytona. I'm Trevor Greenfield signing off here on VirtualRacing.Network. This has been a copyrighted broadcast of VirtualRacing.Network, copyright 2023. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everybody. Until next time, so long.